Joel Whiplash wasn't just a drifter in the woods. He was a ghost who refused to die, his veins thick with the poisons he couldn't quit, his brain half mangled by years of hard drugs. His body was scarred but unbroken, and beneath the twitch of addiction still lived a fighter, one who had mastered every dirty trick in a fight. The woods didn't care who he was. Huge piles of rancid offal stacked like altars outside his camp. At first, he thought it was just the sickness playing tricks on him, the jittery shadows that darted between the trees when the sun went down, the silence that fell too quickly after a scream of a bird or the snap of a branch. Some nights, his stash of needles and powder felt moved, shifted just enough to make him question his memory. He told himself it was just the shakes, just the paranoia of a body begging for poison. But then came the footprints. They weren't fresh deer tracks or coyote pads. These were massive, wider than a man's chest, pressed deep into the earth as if something impossibly heavy stalked the same trails Joel used. He followed them one morning, half out of madness, half out of defiance. The prints led him in circles, around his own camp, closer each night until they ended just yards from where he slept. The noises grew bolder, not just branches snapping, but breathing. Low, guttural exhales that drifted through the trees. Laughter, too. A broken, wheezing chuckle that followed him, sometimes for hours. He'd spin with his knife drawn, pupils wide, teeth grinding from the crash of chemicals in his blood, but nothing ever showed itself. And then his food went missing. First a can of beans, then his jerky, then all of it. His water bottles overturned, his cigarettes shredded into pulp. The final straw came when he crawled back into camp one night and found his stash of dope gone. Every last grain. Not scattered, not spilled, taken, as if lifted carefully by a hand that knew exactly what it meant to him. Joel's skin crawled. That was no accident. He searched, tearing apart the perimeter, and that's when he saw them. Hanging from a tree just out of sight of camp, bones, tied together with vines, clattering softly in the breeze. A warning, a joke, a signature. Joel understood then. This wasn't a dumb animal. It was intelligent, sadistic, patient. It had been circling him, learning him, starving him out, pushing him deeper into desperation. And now it had taken the one thing that kept his heart beating and his mind half steady. The Bigfoot stalked him with cruel purpose. Joel could feel it in his marrow. The bastard wasn't hunting him for food. It was breaking him down, one night at a time. The traps came next. Feces-smeared spikes buried in the undergrowth. Nets woven from vines strung high in the branches. Joel's leg was shredded by one, poison burning through his veins until he shook on the ground in agony, laughing through bloodied teeth at how low his life had sunk. Even half dead, part of him admired the cruelty. But Joel wasn't prey. He fought dirty too. He pissed in bottles and left them out, poisoned food with whatever rotten chemicals he could scrounge, sharpened bones into knives. He started talking to the forest, daring it, screaming into the night for the beast to come face him. And one night, it did. Joel's stew smelled different when he came back to camp. Too sweet. His gut roared with hunger and dope sickness, and against his better judgment, he ate. Minutes later, the world swam sideways. His body hit the dirt like dead weight. He woke tied to a tree, ropes cutting into his flesh, face mashed in mud. The firelight showed him the beast. Massive! Fur matted with blood and filth. Its eyes wide and jittering, teeth bared in a cruel smile. The Bigfoot didn't just want to kill him, it wanted to watch him rot. The torture was drawn out. The beast raked claws across Joel's chest, peeled skin like paper. It smashed his ribs with a stone, then licked the blood from its hands as if savoring the taste. It shoved his face into its traps, forcing his wounds deeper into rot, laughing in wet, broken grunts. Joel wanted to die, but the hate in him was stronger. Hate and the endless itch for revenge. When the beast stumbled away into the woods, tweaking, howling at phantoms, Joel chewed through the ropes until his gums bled. He stood free, shaking, half dead, but burning with bloodlust. He didn't want to escape. He wanted to make it scream. Joel built his own traps, spikes dipped in his own infected blood, nooses woven from rusted wire, fire pits layered with gasoline-soaked rags. Every move was guided not by survival, but by vengeance. He wanted the beast to step wrong, to lose a hand, to limp into the trees and know Joel was watching. And when dawn split the trees, the showdown came. The Bigfoot charged, swinging a log like a club. Joel didn't dodge clean. He took the blow on his shoulder, bone snapping like glass, but he laughed. Blood sprayed from his mouth as he drove a jagged stick deep into the beast's gut. The fight was pure savagery. Joel headbutted until his own skull split. He bit chunks of flesh from the beast's arm, spitting fur and blood in its face. His fingers gouged its eyes, his knees shattered its ribs. The Bigfoot clawed him open, smashed him into the dirt, broke teeth from his mouth. But Joel didn't stop. Every strike was fueled by hatred, by years of pain, by the need to see the beast suffer worse than he had. Finally, Joel drove the sharpened bone of a deer into the creature's throat and pinned it down, choking it in its own blood. The beast thrashed, gurgled, eyes wide with animal terror. Joel didn't finish it quickly. He kept pressing, kept watching, until its struggles slowed to nothing. But then the underbrush shook. Half-grown offspring crawled out, trembling, shrieking, their red eyes wild with the same drug-mad hunger. They swarmed, desperate and violent. Joel grinned through a mask of blood. He wanted this. He slaughtered them one by one. He kicked skulls flat, snapped necks, split torsos open with jagged stones. His laughter echoed through the forest as he painted the ground with their bodies. He didn't just kill them, he desecrated them. He wanted the forest itself to remember. When it was done, he stood atop the mound of corpses, broken ribs jutting, blood leaking from every inch of him, a mad smile plastered across his face. The forest was silent. No birds, no rustle of trees, just the sound of Joel's ragged breath. "King of the forest," he muttered, voice shredded and trembling. Then he screamed it, throat raw until the silence itself bowed to him. Joel Whiplash was no longer prey. He was something worse, and nothing in those woods would ever forget it.